So welcome back to my channel, it's Gamer Dom, and it's day 8 of the Advent calendar, and today we have an interesting, kind of weird, kind of ugly, kind of fun, kind of odd, just all around weird 59 pattern. This is the Chinese Tier 8 medium tank, and it's basically a hybrid tank. It has the hull of the legendary Hype 59 and the turret of Pattern and the gun of a Pattern. And it's a weird thing. It's an ugly looking bleeder. It looks like something a 5-year-old kid would have made, but it's fairly effective as a vehicle in my mind. I quite like mine. It doesn't come up that often. I think it's been sold 2 or 3 times. It's not a super rare tank, but it's not that common. You don't see many on the battlefield, although probably will after today. So let's have a look at it's done. There's a package and also an individual tank, which is great. So let's look at the package first. Comes in at, just open this up, £33.94, so £34 or €40 for the tank, a garage slot, 3,750 gold, 15 of those ×5 experience for each victory missions. So the way they work is that once you've done your initial ×2, a subsequent victory in that tank for the day will generate ×5 experience. So a really good way of boosting your crew. And 25 personal reserves or 100% crew experience for 2 hours, which works on any tank you have running. So it's £33, £34 basically. Alternatively, they are selling the tank separately. Again, why didn't you do this with the Type 62? I wanted the Type 62, and you have to get a bloody bundle. Oh well, saves them my money. The the 59 pattern with the slot only is £23.32 or €27.45. Now that isn't really a saving in my book. There's no saving in that. That's pretty much a standard Tier 8 medium price. So yeah, you're only really, inverted commas, saving money on the package, but that's assuming you wanted all the crap that goes with it. So you basically have the opportunity to buy a tank that you don't often see and can't often get for about the standard price of a Tier 8 medium. So is it any good? Well, it did have a buff fairly recently, and they don't appear to have updated the wiki page. What I've done is I've gone into Tanks GG, because this seems to be more up to date from what I can see. So it has a 90mm gun, rate of fire or average DPM of 2000, which is pretty good actually. Has a penetration 190 with standard ammo, which is a little bit on the low side to be honest, but 240 damage. Let's just look. Yeah, so with the APCR, which is its premium, it's 250 penetration, and again 240. So the pen on it is not outstanding, but it's not terrible at all. Dispersion is 0.35, and I find this thing is pretty good when you're firing on the move. Yeah, on the move it's 0.14. I find, you know, it's one of those rare tanks that is actually pretty good at firing on the move. In my book, reload time of 7.19, rate of fire of 8.3 rounds per minute, and aim time of 2.21, which is pretty good. So I'm familiar with Tank GG, so give me a minute. So top speed is 50, which is pretty good. Reverse speed of 20. Terrain resistance, tank traverse of 40 degrees per second, and it has pretty good terrain resistance as well. Unlike pretty much every other Chinese tank, it has a very good gun depression of 9 degrees, which is very good for Chinese tanks, as you know if you've ever played them. 19 elevation, and the turret traverses, despite it being ugly as sin and looking like a great big tumour, it traverses at 45.8 degrees per second, so very, very good indeed. Has 1400 hit points and a view range of 400, which is outstanding for a tier 8, or for any tank, to be honest. It's not great camo, but it's big. Now, the armor is okay. The hull armor is 100 and 80 at the side and 45 at the rear. And it's very, very well angled. It's really nicely sloped. The Type 59 itself has the same hull armor and will bounce shots all day. And you do find that if people shoot at your hull in this thing, because of the angling, you will bounce shots. The turret is 177, which is a little misleading because well, not misleading, but you can see on here this great tumour, and that's a weak spot. That is almost impossible to miss, unless anyone's just laughing at it, but that's a weak spot, so that does put a weak point in the armour of 177, and when you're poking over a hill to try and use your 9% of gun depression, people will see the tumour before they see anything else in the turret, and will be able to hit it. 76 at the side and 50 at the rear, so yeah, armour's not bad at all, not bad at all. So it's a good little tank actually. It's a 4-man crew, so it's perfect for training up your Chinese medium crew, and there aren't many ways to train up your Chinese crew, so if you're into Chinese mediums, this is a good crew trainer. So this is the pros and cons, bearing in mind this was before the I believe this is before the buff. It does look like so. Gun depression is at an advantage with a whopping -9 degrees. So that's very good. Better on the move accuracy than even a Pershing. That's true. It's very good at firing on the move, which is a rarity in a tank. Bigger ammo capacity than the Type 59s. You won't run out. Turret is very well angled and able to bounce tier 7 shots. Yeah, that's true. Best view range in its tier, able to spot by only peeking out, peek out the cupola even a bit. So you just need to get that big bulbous thing sticking out just a little bit. And you can spot a long way. Rather poor penetration, although decent. It will struggle in tier 10 games because it does not get preferential matchmaking. So it's a tier 8, proper tier 8 that will see tier 9 and tier 9 and tier 10 games. And in tier 10s it's going to struggle. But it has a pretty good mobility, so you have to use it like a proper medium. Flank, get around the sides, use your gun into their sides and rears, because you won't pen tier 10s frontally. It's got the huge cupola on the turret, which is easy penetratable. Yeah, that's true. Bad signal range, mobility, and hit point pool. Gets severely outplayed and rather useless when bottom tiered. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I mean, the mobility's alright. I don't think it's too bad. Signal range, yeah, nobody really cares about that, but yeah, it can be a problem. Hits to the gun mantle near the centre will often guarantee a dead gunner and a damaged gun. Yeah, that's probably true. So you need a repair kit and a medical kit on this tank for sure. But then you want to have head examined if you don't have both anyway. Frontal armour is made out of ammo racks to the right side, fuel tanks, and the gunner and driver's seat. So basically, when it does pen the hull, you tend to get ammo racks and fuel hits, or a dead gunner and a dead driver. So what's it got? So that makes it sound terrible, and it's not a terrible tank. I actually think it's a pretty reasonable tank. I don't think it's outstanding. It's not going to win any awards for the best tank in the game, but it's not a bad tank. I quite like mine. I play occasionally. So I think just that fact that it's got a gun depression for a Chinese tank is a novelty, and it's pretty good at firing on the move, and I think the mobility is okay. I think that all adds up to making it a reasonable medium. So whether you want to buy it, it's your choice. Obviously it's your money. I'm not going to force you, but that's what's on offer today on day 8 of the Advent calendar. So hope this is helpful. If it was, consider giving it a like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. This has been Gamer Dom. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your games, have fun, try not to take them too seriously, and I'll see you again soon. Gamer Dom out.